Load it now. Boyle Sports. Time to play.
I'm prepared to do anything I can to play for my country again.
Do it then. What about your start to the game?
It wasn't bad, was it?
Why should an honest answer be a mistake?
How can a modern day manager not have a mobile phone?
Why should he?
You're very welcome along to Monday's edition of the Football Show. It's Richie McCormack here with you, and joined tonight by the prodigal son, Kevin Kilbane. For those of you looking to have a flutter, is doing rather well in the anytime goal scorer markets for the Liam Miller testimonial match tomorrow. 7-1, Kev. Somebody clearly fancies you to get a goal. I wouldn't be saying that's me at all. But Robbie Keane's odds on, as you would expect, he'd won on. Yeah. Kevin Doyle is evens. Dion Dublin, you might know him from Homes Under the... Is it Homes Under the Hammer? Is 6-4.
Dion Dublin 6-4. I can tell you now, Dion Dublin will play centre half. Dion won't be running around.
Really? What's that?
He's centre half now. That's where he finished his career. That's where he would see himself.
Okay.
Play centre half, no running for Big D.
Dion Dublin 6-4. Alan Smith, the United/Leeds one, I'm presuming, not Smudge, 7-4.
Right.
Sean Maloney's 5-2. Dinny Irwin, free kick specialist, 4-1. Imagine he's still got it from a dead ball.
I'd say so.
Stilian Petrov 6-1. Rio Ferdinand 7-1. So you're levels with like Stilian Petrov.
What is it? Was it Damien Duff in there?
Where's Duffer in this one? Duffer's odds on as well, 10-11.
Oh yeah, I'd say
same as Louis Saha.
I'd be backing Duffer 10-11. Yeah, that's yeah, I would say that. Robbie most definitely. It's a bit skinny though, isn't it? Those sort of odds on prices. 7-1.
Keith's 5-1. Keith Andrews.
I'd say I'm more.
People fancy Keith to score over you.
Yeah, I'd say I'm more likely to score than Keith. I'll probably get in advance as the game progresses. I'll get in advanced positions, Rich.
What lunatic is betting on Nicky Butt? He's like 5-2. That's insane. But you're looking forward to it tomorrow?
I am, yeah. It'd be a good run out. Wouldn't it? Be a good laugh.
Who's going to be
fitness levels won't be good, I can tell you that now.
You're going to be in good company. I'm looking at the people, you're talking about fitness levels, you're talking about Big Dion. He's going to be playing centre half because he wants to maybe take the load off. Big John's playing, isn't he? Big Johnny Hartson. He's down.
No, John can't play. Okay. John's got a knee injury. I spoke to John actually yesterday. He's got a knee injury, so he can't. He's been struggling with it for a while, though, the big man. So
he's going to be on the sideline, probably telling it like it is.
Assistant manager.
Yeah, telling it like it is.
Yeah.
To those out there.
He's around good football men, though, Rich. That's the thing.
Yeah, Joe's not there.
Yeah.
So it's all right for him. But like, it's going to be a brilliant occasion. Like, we're expecting a full house. I fully anticipate that there will be a couple of empty seats around because people will have bought tickets.
You can actually still buy a non-attendance ticket as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can still buy a non-attendance ticket that's still up and running at the moment as well. I should have a link somewhere, but there will be a link somewhere on Twitch. You'll be able to find it somewhere online. I'm sure if you Google Liam Miller benefit match with however it will go, Rich, your slashes or whatever it will be, but it will certainly be non-attendance ticket. You'll be able to search that somewhere as well.
We'll get it and tweet it out in the next few minutes for sure. So Messers and O'Neill and Keane are going to be your managers?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that should be interesting. Be good, wouldn't it?
I don't know if you know this. Martin O'Neill, during his playing career, won 2 European Cups. So he might have a thing or two to teach you in the dressing room tomorrow.
Really stop, honestly.
Were you aware of that? He hides his light under a bushel, does Martin O'Neill. 2 European Cups. Imagine the knowledge he can impart tomorrow in the dressing room as he tries to send you out with a fire in your belly. Yeah,
it's 2 more than me. He played a lot more at that level than I could ever dream of, so I'd look at it like that, Rich. That's the way I would see it.
If only you didn't keep it so quiet. Speaking of guys who are playing nominally at the top level of European football, Paul Pogba, he was involved obviously in that goal that gave United the lead on Saturday at home to Wolves, not 1-1 draw. But I think most interestingly, from a Pogba perspective, were his quotes afterwards. Stirring the pot as ever is our Paul. He says, "We're at home and we should play much better against Wolves. We are here to attack. When we play like that, it's easier for us. I think teams are scared when they see Manchester United attacking. That was our mistake," says Pogba. "Maybe the attitude should be better and we should play better because, again, we're at Old Trafford and we should just attack and press like we did against Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal last season."
But it contradicts everything that your manager actually wants from the team, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Just a tad.
Yeah, it's the total opposite. Do you know what? The dominated possession at the weekend, I was watching the game, so they had so much of the ball, and Pogba's actually in good form. I have to give him that. He's in good form. His touch for Fred's goal was outstanding, wasn't it? It was brilliant.
Top class.
He knows himself he's in good form. I think it's easy to come out with that sort of comment when you're in good form yourself, because you can get away with it. With the fact is that you've got a bit more. You've got a bit in the tank, or a bit in the bank, I suppose, as well. That you could actually go and come out with this. But anyone that's seen Man United over the last couple of seasons, in certain games, and he's right, the way that they played against Man City in the second half, the way that they played against Liverpool at times, and certain sides in certain games, I think it's easy for United to play a counter-attacking way. When they've got to go and beat a team, and he's saying go out and attack, they leave themselves vulnerable, because Wolves at the weekend, the way that they played, could have picked them off so many times. So,
and almost did towards the end.
Yeah, they did. Throughout the game, they were a threat, Wolves, and they're a good side, that's why. I think they had more attempts on target than United at the weekend. They were a real threat throughout. Mourinho even himself come out after the game and said they deserved the point. You know, I think you could argue that they probably deserved the 3, the way that they went about it second half, certainly in the last 25, 30 minutes. But I'd probably say that a draw was right. I think he's right in saying that. But yeah, there's a conflict there between Pogba and Mourinho. There's a conflict of what's been said externally than what's been said internally. I'm sure of that anyway. So I still think it's watch this space with Pogba. He can use his form this season and how he's going about it to try and manoeuvre and move away, because he simply does. You can see that clearly by his comments that he's been making, particularly when he's away in international duty.
Even the fact that he's deciding that he's going to be in a bit of form, that's usually the mark of a player who is playing for a move and wants to eke the last few £1,000 out of a potential contract from your potential new employers. We'll get into it a little bit with Pat, but you know, Mourinho does make a rod for his own back when you consider that Martial played really, really well away to young boys, and you can add as many caveats to that as you want and say, yes, it's only young boys, and yes, it's in the Champions League opening round.
Second half he did, last 30 minutes of the game, yeah.
But then you see the emphasis that's put on a player like Marouane Fellaini, who, like, I'm not Marouane Fellaini's biggest fan, but I absolutely see the job that he does. Whether you need him to do that job at home to Wolves, as good and all as they are, I just don't see it.
Well, do you know what? It's actually a good point. I think against Watford last week.
You sound surprised by that, Kev.
No, it was good. It was good. You're right in saying that to an extent. I think you probably need a lot more energy in midfield, a lot more pace in midfield when you're playing against a Wolves side that do carry a good threat counter-attack wise. Whereas Fellaini against Watford the week before, I could understand it. They were very direct. He could stand on Troy Deeney's toes, prevent Troy Deeney having an influence on the game, and he actually played really well in the match. But yeah, it's a good point. From that is, you'd suggest that maybe whether it would be a Matic, Fred and Pogba, or maybe one other, or maybe even a McTominay that could go in there, that provide a bit more energy. Even Jesse Lingard, you could drop him a bit deeper to provide that bit more energy into the side. So yeah, it's valid. It's a valid point.
It is something that he still doesn't know what his best starting 11 is. Well, that's the impression I get anyway.
Yeah, well, there's a problem there. I know he's suspended at the moment, Rashford, but there is a problem with Rashford and Martial and how he gets them into the side. Alexis Sanchez is a massive problem for him because he's not been playing well. I
haven't seen him since January. I don't know who this Alexis Sanchez character is you're talking about.
Do you know what? He's trying his balls off, Rich, as well. You see, I was down at Watford the other week, and he's trying all sorts, and it's not working for him.
Well, that's often times when you see a player like that, when they're trying almost too hard, that they know that they have to make up a shortfall in their performance.
Certainly on the ball, he's trying things. He's passing forward. He's risk taking with his passing, but it's just not coming off for him. He almost set up a chance for Lukaku, it was in that game. He almost set up a chance at the weekend he actually crossed it for the goal when it was headed clear and Pogba's touched back inside. Almost set up Lukaku in that instance. But it's almost, that's what's happening to him. He's gone from having such an influence at Arsenal for a number of years to almost having an influence, and nothing's coming off for him. It's just, it might be one of those where you've just got to just hold your hand up and say it's not worked.
Fisher Cup 8 and then let him go in January.
That could be the way it is.
Radical one this. Do you give him a break?
Well, he had a break in the summer. That was a talk, Richie, as well, wasn't it? It was his first time he's actually been able to have a pre-season, so he was able to have a break across the summer. No international matches, obviously Chile not in the World Cup. He was then able to have a full pre-season. That was the message that was coming out of Old Trafford, that he's had a full pre-season, he's in great shape, he's had a rest, everything's come to him at the right time. We'll see the best of Alexis Sanchez this season, and he was playing well in pre-season. I think that was the message as well that was coming out. But now it's almost as if it's becoming like a panic with him.
He's second guessing himself.
Yeah, there's maybe a bit of that. I think it's you said before, almost trying too hard. It's just when it's not happening for you, it's not happening for you. That's the way that it is, and you can try, you can continue to try to do the things that's got you to that type of move to Old Trafford, and it's just not happening for him. And I say it's not so much he's going to be holding his hands up, but it's the club themselves that might have to just say, thanks very much.
Especially on that kind of money. You don't necessarily want to hang around to somebody who's being paid 300 grand and isn't delivering and doesn't feel capable of delivering themselves.
And that causes problems. It does. That will be spoken about within that dressing room. You know, I think in general, if a club like that, United, are going to be expecting to pay the big fees, aren't the big wages, all these type of things, we know that. But when it's not happening, that starts to manifest.
How prevalent is that kind of whisper in a dressing room?
It would be. It would be prevalent enough. I think United have had it so well over the years that the big players that they've signed invariably have all worked out. There's been one or two exceptions, or even the big earners that have been at the club have maybe stepped up to the big earner. They've maybe come through a little bit to an extent, and those players have always produced, and they've always dragged the rest of the players on with them. That's kind of how it's worked out. United have had a change of policy over the last few years where it's been sign the biggest and best player, which again to an extent they've done, but I think the fees have gone up that much. The wages now have taken them through to an extreme, I suppose, and it's that's the message I think that Ed Wood would want. So that's how they want to be portrayed. That's how he sees the club. We want to be the biggest and the best. We want to pay the best wages. We want to pay the best transfer fees, and it's not always been that way at United. It's always been about earning the right to play for that club, and you've got to maybe earn your right to get onto the next level of wages and everything that comes with that. So
if Man City aren't sniffing around him last January, he isn't ending up on 300 grand a week at Manchester United. I mean, that's kind of...
His name was price though, Rich, wasn't it? It was a kind of a swap deal with him and Mkhitaryan. United weren't actually going to pay a fee. Mkhitaryan was clearly done at United. It wasn't working out for him. So what would it have been if he's got a 4-year contract at Arsenal left? You'd be paying in excess of 80 million, it'd be up to 100 million for him, wouldn't it, at the time?
Yeah.
So you balance that out across the course of his contract, and then you're probably getting a 100 million euro or 100 million pound player or whatever it is.
With eye-watering figures even. We've had loads of texts in about tomorrow's game of Porky Queeve. Cormac Sheehan's watching us on Facebook Live. He isn't having a nibble on our Kev scoring tomorrow. 7-1, says he. Not a chance.
He's got a point. He's probably seen my goal scoring record, so he's probably got a point there.
Dion Dublin's never scoring tomorrow, lads. He never stops banging on about his dodgy knees and back. That's from Darren.
Yeah.
Be honest, most of the team are going to want to play centre half, but Kenny's got it locked down. I'm telling you, you're going to see like a very determined and driven Kenny Cunningham tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not happy about John O'Shea being pulled into the ranks for the game as well. Great that John's coming over to play. He's a pro. He's a current pro.
He's playing for Reading, for God's sake.
Yeah. So that's
he's like a ringer.
Yeah, ringer. Yeah. What does Brian call him? Brian calls him a banger.
He's a banger.
He's a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a
not the best accent.
We'll have Kenny in there. Well, Kenny's got to play. You said there, Kenny's fit enough, so Kenny's going to have to play.
He's going to be giving orders at the football club.
Who else we got at centre half? Graham Kavanagh's in as well. Great to see Cav's going to be involved as well.
Cavo's got to be still in midfield, isn't he? I imagine he's still got a silky pass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good footballer, Cav. So we'd have Cav, Keith Andrews in midfield, Andy Reid pulling the strings. You know, we've got some ballers.
Tasty.
Damien, Robbie, Harty, Stephen Carr, Steve McPhail, baller, good footballer.
Time, yeah.
I tell you, so we've got players that can certainly play in there. But what I'm looking at, it's not the footballers I'm looking for. I'm looking for some runners. We need some runners in our team, Rich.
Duffer can still run, can he?
Yeah, he
still got.
I was playing up in a
compared to the rest of you,
game. We were playing in the Ryan McBride game up in Derry. Was that a few months ago now, wasn't it?
Who entered you up there again?
I don't know. I can't remember his name. But Damien was excellent. Yeah, Damien still got it. Pete in West Cork says, is Kev the type to follow manager's orders, or will he give himself the free roll? I think there might be a lot of this tomorrow. Or is there an unspoken ex-footballer's code whereby Kev... I don't want to give you an exclusive now on air, but if I'm 7-1, I'm going on a free roll. I'm going rogue, Rich. That's all I'm saying. Kev won't burn a defender on the outside tomorrow if he knows their hips, knees and ankles are banjacks. I think you should. I think you should pick out the least able and the least nimble and burn past them just because. I'm going to try at some stage just to run straight between the middle of the goals, expecting someone to pick me out, that's all. Make yourself look good. Keep your texts coming and your messages as well on tomorrow's game in Porky Queeve, especially if you're heading down as well tomorrow. Yeah, I say good luck for everyone who's travelling as well. It's going to be a fantastic occasion. It's going to be great to see a game of football in Porky Queeve. Yeah, we've not even talking about Man United. We've got Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Rio Ferdinand, Dennis Irwin, Roy Keane. Gary Neville. The bum-dotted, Kev. Bum-dotted. And Porky Queeve, a potential venue. I think Man United, who's favourites for the game? Man United have got to be favourites, haven't they, with that list of players. Yeah. The draw is 7-2, which I think might be a decent old bet if you're heading for that one. But yeah, we'll discuss that game further. We'll also have Pat Nevin on to talk about the weekend's Premier League action and lots more besides, including Celtic's worst start to a season in 20 years, all after this.
Football on Off the Ball.
In association with the faster than ever Boyle Sports app, with hundreds of pre-live and in-play football markets. Download it now. Boyle Sports. Time to play.
Fela 2018, the trip to Tip, returns this weekend. The Stunning, An Emotional Fish, The Four of Us, Hot as Flowers, The Franken Walters, and Something Happens. All live with the Irish Chamber Orchestra at Semple Stadium. And together, we're going to relive the magic. Join me, Tom Dunn, tonight from 10 for Tom's Trip to Tip, and access all areas look back at Fela 2018 with interviews from the fans and the bands.
Tom's Trip to Tip, tonight from 10 on News Talk.
Buying stuff on appliancesdelivered.ie just got a whole lot easier thanks to our friends at Flexify. Because now the qualifying spend is just €500. And you can bundle stuff together. Maybe get a new washing machine or dishwasher, plus a new TV. Whatever you fancy. Or go all out and get up to €15,000 finance approved in minutes. Flexify. Check it out at appliancesdelivered.ie. Fees, terms and conditions apply. Subject to minimum purchase amount, credit assessment and approval. See appliancesdelivered.ie/Flexify.
You join us here at the Ryder Cup as Team Europe take on Team USA. Dear. Go on, get behind Europe with a Now TV Sky Sports Week Pass and stream the Ryder Cup for a one-off payment of just €15. Search Now TV. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
When you're a first-time buyer, it's first things first. So when finding a great low fixed rate is all that matters right now, Ulster Bank's new First 5 mortgage has you sorted. We've 5 great benefits, including the lowest 2-year fixed rate in the market. Just search Ulster Bank First 5. Ulster Bank. Help for what matters. Lowest rate claim source bonkers.ie, 29th of June 2018. Maximum loan to value is 90%. Security and insurance required. Product fees may apply. Over 18s and residential mortgages only. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply. Credit facility subject to repayment and financial status. Warning, your home is at risk if you do not keep up payments on a mortgage or any other loan secured on it. Warning, if you do not meet the repayments on your loan, your account will go into arrears. This may affect your credit rating, which may limit your ability to access credit in the future. Warning, you may have to pay charges if you pay off a fixed rate loan early. Ulster Bank Ireland DAC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
The Republic of Ireland take on Denmark and Wales in the UEFA Nations League on October 13th and 16th at the Aviva. Secure your seat with an FAI season ticket, including entry to special events, exclusive promotions and competitions. It's time to get mad serious. It's time to get your FAI season ticket. Get yours now at faiseasontickets.ie.
Recently separated from your last car? Still looking for the one? Renault Selection used cars are the finest around, and the only brand offering 2% APR, 2 years warranty, and 2 years roadside assistance. Renault Selection, a new standard in used cars. Stop by the Renault Super Selection sales event from the 27th to the 29th of September at your local Renault Selection dealer. Finance is made under a hire purchase agreement. Terms and conditions apply. Deposit required. Subject to lending criteria. See Renault.ie.
Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
All this week on Off the Ball, we are smartening things up with Charles Tyrwhitt shirts to be in the chance of winning a Charles Tyrwhitt voucher worth, get this, €300. Tell us which Irishman hold the winning putt for Europe at the Belfry back in 2002. Text your name and your answer to 53106 for 30 cents, and we'll announce a winner later on in the show. It's all thanks to Charles Tyrwhitt, because life is better in a proper shirt. Time for a man who always looks smart. Pat Nevin, come in.
How are you doing, chaps? Okay, very well.
Hello, Patrick. All good?
Yeah, good. I actually was playing that tune again on another radio station just the other day. You know Colin Murray, the old mate? There's a music show, and
so he stole it from us.
Well, what the idea
was...
if
it's public domain, you can't necessarily steal it, it's fine.
Well, that's Pat's intro. That's it. We've got to like copyright that, surely.
Well, I've got Colin Murray's accent down, so it's fine. Here we're joined by Pat Nevin. Pat, a great weekend for Wolves. See? Trade.
Awful like him. Colin is in the room.
We'll move on from that dodgy impression, Pat. You would have been watching and imagine Chelsea's first dropping of points in the Premier League yesterday afternoon. It's a game we had live on Off the Ball. They were, I'm not going to say undone by hard work from West Ham, but West Ham look like they've finally gotten themselves together, and under Manuel Pellegrini are finally starting to look like a side.
Never ever worried about West Ham United this season, even though the stinker of a start they had. Just looking at the players they've got, when they get them all fit and all playing, there's enough quality there, particularly up front. I think it looked fantastic. I know Yarmolenko missed that chance near the end where he had the header and he should have scored. And I'm not going to exaggerate here, but I might have put that away.
Notice header of the ball. Pat Nevin would have been great with that, I'd say, yeah.
And honestly, it was a terrible miss. But having said that, I mean, there is enough quality in that team. Pellegrini's a good manager, so, I think they've bought really, really well. And if you'd have put Arnautovic on that pitch there, I think they probably would have won the game with the chances had they fallen to him. So they'll be fine, they'll be okay. And the tactics were pretty good. What is it? I think it was at 72% of the possession that Chelsea had, but limited amount of chances. Chelsea were the better team, absolutely, but the tactics against them were absolutely superb. So no worries at all about West Ham. West Ham fans, for once, don't have to worry about relegation. That ain't going to happen.
We're going to set that in stone for the rest of the season.
Do you know what, though, Rich? I heard the lads talking prior to the game yesterday. Who was on the commentary? It was Stephen Kelly. Stephen Kelly was on commentary, and they're saying, fancy Chelsea strongly. Decent result last week. He was on with Dave, wasn't he? And Dave was saying, well, look, West Ham were really impressive last week. There was a real buzz around Everton before the game. Going back home, which that little bit of there is that feeling that it's not quite the home yet. They're not able to really replicate some of the form that they've shown from Upton Park there. But I watched them in that Everton game, just how well organised they were, and with the bit of pace they had on the break. And I know you've lost Arnautovic, so it certainly put me off really with Arnautovic. But throughout the team now, they look well balanced. They look organised. That's when you see them now. And maybe you talked about there, Pat, how deep lying, deep lying in relation to giving Chelsea the ball, not denying space in behind, but how much of a threat they were in the break. And so many times, it was 2-on-2s for West Ham. Chelsea would leave himself a little bit exposed at the back. I like watching them. I think they're going to be a good side to watch this season there, West Ham. I think that.
Yeah, I mean, Felipe Anderson's he's a superb player, isn't he? He's absolutely magnificent footballer. So you get him one side, you get Arnautovic centre, Yarmolenko possibly the other side most of the time. I mean, you've seen him over the years.
What about our boy Declan Rice as well, Pat?
Yeah, he just grew into the game and he got better and better and better. Started closing down, reading the game better as it developed. And he had a big job to do, because when they managed to push Hazard inside, and you've got Hazard running at you, and you've got good players running at you, but he's really clever, reading it well, good match intelligence. You need that in that position. So, I think he like the rest of them done well, and he's a good manager. Pellegrini's a good manager. He looks at the capabilities of his players, his squad, and he seems to get the best out of them. So, and honestly, I'm not in the slightest bit worried for West Ham unless they get a whole massive injuries. But other than that, they're good enough by a distance. And I'm not going to say I heard somebody saying on some radio station the other day they could be top 4. Well, seriously, wake up and smell the coffee. That ain't going to happen. But top 10, yeah, half decent chance of that.
Yeah, from a Chelsea perspective, no reason for panic just yet. I mean, that was just one of those games. They were all stumbling block 1 point.
Yeah, and I'm not really surprised by it. I have to say, I'm not getting as carried away by Chelsea as everyone else is just now, or a lot of other people are just now. Yeah, they've got loads and loads of possession, but you can see it's not actually a very complicated thing they're doing just now. So if you're actually doing a not very complicated thing, it's sometimes quite easy to stop it. Now, it's very hard to stop Eden Hazard because, yeah, it's fantastic. But, the rest of it, you look around and you think, actually, are you getting the best out of N'Golo Kante just now? Probably not, because you've had them to adapt him. I think they'll get better as the season goes on, but I think it's going to take a while for them to get close to the likes of Liverpool and the likes of Manchester City over a season. But, compared to what they were coming from, A, they'll be better possibly than last season, but B, they're better to watch. They're actually a joy to watch a lot of the time. And there's one other player who's kind of slightly been left out just now. If you talk about a team that's a passing team, and they are a fantastic passing team, they've not got Cesc Fabregas in the team yet. What a difference he'll make to the team when he gets a chance. And I just don't know if Sarri knows all about him yet. When he sees the capabilities of Fabregas up against a mass defence, There's very, very few that can play that killer pass better than him.
Yeah, I mean, Fabregas only got 25-30 minutes of the night, didn't he? Or last week in the Europa League against PAOK. But I wanted to ask you about that game, though, Pat, in relation to Sunday's game as well. Were you surprised the strength of side that Chelsea played in that match? Or was it just, look, he's going to target both competitions and that's it going forward?
I wasn't surprised. I was shocked. I was really, really shocked by it. I thought there would be probably 9 changes, maybe 10 changes for the PAOK game. I thought, if you lose that game, don't worry, that's the hardest game in the group. But, even Chelsea's second 11 should be good enough to win against PAOK. I mean, that's not been arrogant towards PAOK. Chelsea have got a very, very strong second 11. So I thought he would do most of that. He didn't do it. He wanted to get those points. And now you can see he's thinking, he thinks, well, wait a minute, you've got the hardest game. You're 3 points away from home. That competition's almost in the bag. You've got the 3 home games, which you can see Chelsea winning quite easily. And that's him almost certain that they're going to get through in that competition. So, right, I get your thinking there. But you can't keep on doing that every week. You can't do it, European. Chelsea have got a game against Liverpool come up in the kind of League Cup, as it used to be called. And then another game in the league. And it's getting into that area now. There's games constantly. He's going to need to change it. He's going to need to adapt it. What's interesting for Chelsea are the second 11 or the next 8, 9, 10 players. Are they quite as capable of playing exactly the same Sarri ball as this 11? Well, that's an interesting thing. We'll look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, we'll, I suppose, get a first taster of that this week when they do play Liverpool in the Carabao Cup in midweek, which comes ahead, funnily enough, of their meeting on Saturday then as well. What kind, I don't think Sarri is the kind of man who's going to alter his approach that much when Liverpool do pitch up next week. But what is he going to have to do to counteract that Liverpool attacking threat, especially in the final third?
Oh, Gage, I think we've talked about Sarri before. Going back to his time, obviously, in Napoli, and famous games against Manchester City last season. He won't change it at all. He'll just keep on doing exactly what his teams do. He won't adapt to them. He won't play more defensively. He'll just play exactly the same team with possibly different personnel on the first game, obviously in the Carabao Cup game, but the second game, the league game, who will pick his first 11. But no, he won't adapt. He won't change. He has got his methods, his beliefs, and he'll go for it. And I think he's got enough good grace from the ownership that they're enjoying the way he's playing just now and the way the team's playing that they can afford. They've got Man United soon. They've got obviously City coming up in a while, but Liverpool on the cusp of his sights at the moment. They might not win all those games, but he will play the way he wants to play. And I think the moment, if you say Liverpool do absolutely destroy Chelsea, which is a possibility they could do, lots and lots of questions will be asked, and Sarri will give the answer that he gave from the start of this season. Work in progress. This is going to take months.
Would you be worried about David Luiz going up against that front three next week and the way they happen to press? Like, we know of Luiz's proclivity for stepping out from defence and trying to bring the ball forward. It's a hard thing for him to curb. I don't think it's going to happen at this stage. Gary Cahill's already making noises that he wants to perhaps pursue other avenues come January. So you're asking a lot of those either side of David Luiz to kind of hold ground.
It's how exposed, Richie, they actually leave him. That's the thing. He's so exposed in that Chelsea side, the way they play, isn't it? That's the thing.
His cover with Rudiger was fantastic because, as we've spoken about before, Rudiger is one of the fastest players in the league. He's in the top 3 or 4 fastest players in the league. So, if David goes up a little bit and gets caught, then Rudiger, goes in behind him. Last season, if they were playing the way they were last season, Kante would have got in front of him and they were given a bit of cover there. Now, I really like David Luiz as a player, and David Luiz at his fittest and his strongest and his quickest, I would actually not be over worried about him. The thing is, he's coming back from a long-term injury, and the question's still to be asked, is he quick enough? And it's just that, I think, intelligence-wise, nipping in front of people, he makes the odd mistake, but not that many. Remember, just over a year ago, he was just about Chelsea's player of the season. However, long-term injury, coming back from that, no longer in the back 3, so yes, he is absolutely opened up, and we will find out, I think, within the next 5 or 6 days about his pace. And if he has Cahill beside him, Gary's not as quick as Rudiger. Very few are as quick as Rudiger. So that's one area that will definitely be a concern.
We were speaking about Manchester United just before the break, Pat. I want to play a bit of Jose Mourinho. He was speaking after their 1-1 draw with Wolves on Saturday, and it's 2 points dropped at home for Jose Mourinho, who told reporters after the game that his players deserved the punishment of those drop points.
I think the result is fair. I think they deserve their point, and I think we deserve the punishment of getting only one point. They start better than us, more aggressive, more intense. I don't know why, but more motivated. And for 10-15 minutes, they showed a good team they are. Then we were more in control. We scored a goal, and in the second half, in their best period, and again we had a slow start. And in the second half, they scored. And after that, they defended with a lot of people, and of course, they have quick people in attack to the counter-attack. We tried to go in different ways. Honestly, I was expecting more from my attacking players. Not enough creativity, not enough movement, not enough dynamica. So we made quite easy for them to cope with our supremacy in the last 20-25 minutes. Then we tried to go direct, and we create them some problems in the last 10 minutes. But I think overall we don't deserve more than this, and they deserve that point.
Pat, he was expecting more attacking from his side. Paul Pogba, with his comments afterwards, suggests that he was expecting more attacking from the Manchester United side. But I suppose when you have a midfield that has Marouane Fellaini anchoring it, you're only going to get one thing, really.
I think Fellaini, to be fair, I'm not as anti-Fellaini as a lot of people. I think Jose Mourinho, when he gets Pogba, Fellaini and Matic as his midfield, I don't think he cares where each of them plays. He's got all three of them. He's got enough physique and power to cover those areas, and I think he's kind of happy with it. When one of them's missing, it kind of noticeable. Matic probably more than anyone else, because he's the cleverest, defensively, the one that seems to be able to read things defensively. Fellaini's not absolutely brilliant at that, but he's not absolutely terrible at it either. I do believe it was Pogba who lost the ball for the Wolves goal, though, wasn't it? So, people do point to certain players because, they stand out in that way. But to be fair, I don't think that Fellaini's going to be the biggest problem there. Josie's talking about the creativity, limited creativity that they've got, but they haven't got limited players. They're just not getting the best out of them all the time. I thought just the other week there they got back on track, and they looked big, strong, physical, being a Jose Mourinho team and using the bits of guile they had on the side of it just to add to that. And it seems that if you take one out of that little jigsaw, it doesn't look anywhere near as good.
Pat, have you seen much of Fred this season as well?
Just wee bits of him, but I mean, to be fair, I think he's not been the superstar. But then again, as soon as anyone talks to you about a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 million pounds players, you think, wow, he's going to be amazing. I've stopped thinking that now. Because everybody's costing that now. You're thinking, well, give the guy a chance, give the players a period. But I've not seen enough of him to say whether it's going to. I mean, it's good goal. That's his first goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, well, yourself, when you come up to a new team and a new club and a new league, and new players you're playing against, also playing with in a new system, it's not always easy. I mean, have you been impressed by him?
No, do you know what, Pat? I saw him, was it the Young Boys game last week? I thought he was loose in possession now. I didn't really know what to maybe gauge from the pitch over there in Bern, the Astro pitch. Pogba certainly excelled. I think Martial late on excelled. But I think overall United were quite loose, and I found him like that all season. I think he's been loose in possession. I felt he looks to me like he's got good energy that can get round the pitch, but he always looks like he's a yard off making a challenge, and it's always a late tackle, or he's given a foul away, or potentially a booking for every tackle that he's going in for. So I don't know, it just looks to me like he's a bit off it. And I think down that left-hand side where he's been playing the left with Alexis Sanchez, and there's only Luke Shaw really that's been the standout player from United's left, and it's not a combo that's worked when I've seen them with Fred and Alexis Sanchez.
You know what it's like? I mean, people listening in and understand it completely, saying you cost that amount of money and you're getting paid that amount of money every week. You should be walking in there and being absolutely brilliant. But you kind of know what it's like. Sometimes you have to learn what's around you, and a lot of the time it's people learning what you're good at as well, and giving you the ball in the right places. So I usually give people a bit more leeway. If you think about it through the years, and recent years even, there's a lot of players that have come in to English Premier League football with huge names, and it's taken them a while to really turn it around and become, real stars, and some of them haven't. Some of them have really failed. Massive money signings, but I think the Premier League's different from just about everything else. And you talk about the young boys game. Well, it's going to be a wee bit easier, and because it's a different type of game. I don't know how you felt, but I always felt international football and the small amount of European football I played was easier than top level British football, because the pace was different. It wasn't right in your face all the time. Something you have to learn. We were brought up with it. Guys coming into it, it's a wee bit of a shock to the system. So especially creative players, I give them a little bit more time.
Pat, I want to talk a little bit about Celtic as well, because with yesterday's 2-1 defeat to Kilmarnock, it's actually the worst start that Celtic have had in 20 years to a league campaign. Not since the less than halcyon days of Dr. Joseph Venglos at Parkhead have we seen Celtic falter this early in the season. Now, granted, it's 5-6 points off the top and still only 6 games played. Like, you'd figure that they will see this right, but it is a worry on Brendan Rodgers' behalf, and he even said himself after yesterday's game that it is a cause for alarm that they are where they are this early in the season. To see them in that position against Kilmarnock, who are far from world beaters. I know your former Chelsea teammate Stevie Clark is doing a decent job with them, but these are games that Celtic should be winning.
I think you make a couple of good, and a former Kilmarnock player myself, so I'm kind of happy for Stevie doing well down there.
Did you actually know that, Rich?
I didn't.
Did you?
Had a year there, and I think we finished third in the league, so we had a good season, very good season.
And all because of you, no doubt, as well, Mr. Nevin.
Well, I didn't quite wreck it for them, but nearly did. Actually, our last game of the season that season is an interesting one, because it kind of fits in with that. Our last game of the season that season, we beat Rangers at Ibrox, which killed Rangers' chances to get 10 in a row, which is an amazing thing. So anyway, as you mentioned Stevie Clark there, and I'll get back on to Celtic in a minute.
Sure.
Stevie Clark is a top-class manager, right? So they've got a fabulous coach at the top level at Kilmarnock, right? So take that on board for a kick-off. And then you start looking around the league. Neil Lennon, he's a magnificent coach. He's an absolutely superb coach. Steven Gerrard, 1 defeat in 16 games at the start of his career. Suddenly Brendan Rodgers is looking around just now and thinking to himself, wait a minute, I've got a bit of competition here, because there are no mugs he's up against now. I mean, Craig Levine's had a great start at Hearts as well. He was once the Scotland manager. You start looking around and thinking, a lot of those guys who, and by the way, I'm not ignoring Derek McInnes at Aberdeen, who's probably been the best out with Celtic for the past 2 or 3 years. So suddenly he's looking around, Brendan, and thinking, actually, these are no mugs. We actually can't roll over these guys anymore, because they've got good technical coaches in place. Now, Celtic have had a poor start. They've real difficulties at the start of the season with centre-back position, lots of injuries. Ayer's injured just now, and the young lad that came in for him, Henry, he had a tough one, possibly at fault at both goals against Kilmarnock there. And he's playing beside Boyata, who wanted to leave, and the Celtic fans wanted him out as well. So there was a lot of problems that were brewing up for Brendan, but there have been a load of injuries for him, particularly at the back. But on top of all that, he's lost Moussa Dembele. And Moussa Dembele was the main man. He was the top goal scorer when he was on the best of form. He was unstoppable. To take nothing away from Lee Griffiths, people are going to Celtic now and thinking, maybe not so much at Celtic Park, but they thinking they're not unbeatable anymore. And see, when the players start thinking that, it changes the mindset. Now, it changes the mindset everywhere. People are scared to go to Real Madrid or Barca or, Man City or whatever. With Celtic, and you used to be Rangers, it was a massive thing in Scotland. The fear factor killed teams before they walked on the pitch. That's actually a wee bit depleted this season for Celtic, and that's Brendan's biggest worry.
When you mentioned the rising tide around Brendan Rodgers with the likes of Derek McInnes at Aberdeen, Craig Levine, the fantastic job that he's doing for Hearts so far this season, and Steven Gerrard, of course, at Rangers, it kind of brings into sharp relief the quotes around Brendan Rodgers when he was talking about frustrations with the board and their lack of investment in the squad this summer. When Odsonne Edouard is by far the standout player that they brought in terms of outlay at least. The quotes around when Moussa Dembele was leaving, when he first initiated that he wanted to go, Rodgers was saying, well, we can't sell our star striker without having somebody in place. And then, of course, they don't bring anybody in after that. I mean, he wasn't done any favours by those above him, it's fair to say, in the summertime.
Yeah, and he said he wanted 3 things. He needed a striker to replace Dembele when he left. That's not really happened. He tried to get John McGinn. Now, have any of you seen McGinn's goal for Aston Villa this week?
It was a bit of a peach. Yeah.
Oh, what a volley. What a
I
volley.
have been boring you to death about that boy, haven't I?
Yeah.
He's fabulous. Well, I watched him at Hibs for 2 years there and a bit more. He's just fabulous. He's a great player. And a joy to watch. Funnily enough, he was a wee bit found out when he stepped up for Scotland against Belgium and had a tough time there. But then again, was playing against Belgium and they're quite good. But he wanted McGinn, so he didn't get McGinn. Now that's unthinkable that Celtic lost out on that because he was on the doorstep. Everyone thought it was a done deal. So that was a central midfield area that Brendan wanted. So and he looked at centre back as well, knowing he had a problem there and didn't get the ones he wanted there. So it's hard to point a finger at Brendan. Brendan said, this is what you need. Don't stand still. In football, if you stand still, you're going backwards. And I think he's like saying, come on, I want a few people to start saying this. Now, having said all that, they still spent much more money than anyone else. They still should be strong enough to beat everyone else. But they're in a battle now. I don't know if it's going to last the whole season, but there's enough teams there that can beat each other and can beat Celtic, particularly away from home. That's a big, big thing, away from home. There's one other wee technical point about it. The hunger and the kind of speed that they're going, it seemed to have dipped a little bit. And they don't seem to like playing in the plastic pitches either, which is a bit of a nightmare in Scotland because, you know,
There's
3
plenty
of
of
the
them,
teams
yeah.
in the Premier League are plastic pitches. And they're horrible. I hate them. You know, I just don't think you should play football at the top level on them. But all those things are kind of working against them. And if psychologically you're in a bad place, you know, it's going to be tough for them. Having said that, I still think they're favourites to win the league. But it's not going to be as easy as years gone by.
Yeah, Pat, just before I let you go, I just want to do a quick one on Manchester City this weekend. Big win for them away from home. Sergio Aguero, he made his 300th appearance for City. I think he's got a record of a goal every 108 minutes for Man City, and his goal at the weekend again was just typical of how he's gone about things. But City in general, they look like they're taking shape. You know, after that draw against Wolves and even the defeat against Lyon, they've continuously just bounced back when they've had a bad defeat again. So I don't know if you've seen them, but they just look so good at the moment, really.
They do, and De Bruyne is not even there, which is, you know, amazing. They can do that with De Bruyne. The people they left out that were on the bench, etc., were stunning in this game. So, yeah, we're kind of gauging them by last season, and they had that period where they looked utterly unbeatable. Well, for a long, long period, they looked unbeatable. Now, that was weird and that was unusual, and they might actually get that back again. But judging them by everybody else in the league, it's only Liverpool that are close. Only Liverpool. And now with Liverpool got a better squad, you know, they might be able to go and run them closer than maybe even I thought at the start of the season. But I can't see anyone getting past them in the end. I just think they are fabulous. And every time anybody comes up against them, there is every chance you'll get a hiding 4, 5, 6-0. And I don't think you feel that about anyone else in the league.
Yeah, Pat, thanks so much for taking time out to speak to us again tonight.
Pleasure, guys.
Good man, Pat.
More to come after these.
Off the ball.
On News Talk.
Buying stuff and appliances delivered.ie just got a whole lot easier thanks to our friends at Flexify. Because now the qualifying spend is just €500. And you can bundle stuff together. Maybe get a new washing machine or dishwasher, plus a new TV. Whatever you fancy. Or go all out and get up to €15,000 finance approved in minutes. Flexify. Check it out at appliancesdelivered.ie. Fees, terms and conditions apply. Subject to minimum purchase amount, credit assessment and approval. See appliancesdelivered.ie/flexify.
The new 2019 Mercedes-Benz A-Class. It's a car that's a little more like you. How? Well, for starters, you unlock it with your phone. And with voice control, you can make a call, change the temperature, find a restaurant, pause the music. The new 2019 A-Class from €27,860. It's awesome. Just like you. Contact your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealership to try it out. Subject to availability, terms and conditions apply. Price excludes dealer-related charges.
You join us here at the Ryder Cup as Team Europe take on Team USA. Dear. Go on, get behind Europe with a Now TV Sky Sports Week Pass and stream the Ryder Cup for a one-off payment of just €15. Search Now TV. Content streamed via internet, full terms at nowtv.com.
Here's an interesting mix. Women's suffrage, the history of the GAA, the women who flew for Hitler, and the fate of Russia's Romanovs. Add speakers like Michael Palin and Pulitzer Prize winning author Anne Applebaum. The result, the Dublin Festival of History, September 24th to October 7th. Enjoy over 140 free events and 1,000 years of stories. Visit dublinfestivalofhistory.ie. Brought to you by Dublin City Council.
Want to feel alive? Well, here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to watch the game through someone else's feed. You're not going to like that video of the most awesome pass ever. And you're not going to post a selfie from your sofa pretending to have the best time ever. No, you're going to join the roar. Leinster versus Munster, Aviva Stadium, October 6th, 6 p.m. Tickets available at leinsterrugby.ie. Subject to availability, terms and conditions apply.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Yeah, welcome back to the final part of the football show.
I'll tell you what, Kirsten, before we go on, Rich.
Hit me.
Joe Malloy's not around. What do we talk about? Celtic. It's great.
Do you like that?
Oh, I do like that.
We're talking Bows tomorrow night as well.
See, there you go.
Get my feet under the table here. The voting breakdown has been released for the FIFA Best Awards. As we know, Luka Modric won Best Player of the Year, beating off competition from Cristiano Ronaldo and Mo Salah. We found out who voted for whom.
Oh, come on.
Seamus Coleman. Let me find this again. He was our captain, obviously. His number 1 was Luka Modric. His number 2 was Cristiano Ronaldo. And his 3 was Lionel Messi. Absolutely no controversy there. We'll find the Republic of Ireland manager, Martin O'Neill. Slight surprise a little bit in his, I think, player 1, 2, 3. O'Neill went for Messi number 1. No real imagination there, is there? Messi number 1, Ronaldo 2, and Mo Salah 3.
How can you have imagination with the three of them, though, Rich?
Messi, though, is your number 1.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you who did show imagination. Philip Quinn, who's our media representative.
Philip Quinn gets a vote.
Everybody gets one. All the countries get a media representative.
Can I ask, how does Philip Quinn get himself in a position to be our representative?
Seniority.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah.
So he's pulled rank.
Justice for the ball men as well.
Who's he voted for?
Number 1, Kylian Mbappe. Number 2, Raphael Varane. And number 3 is Luka Modric.
No, that's controversial. Now that is basically to be one of the cool guys, really, isn't it?
Quinner's one of the media elite.
Right, fabulous, won a World Cup, brilliant scoring a goal. Yeah. First teenager since Pele to score in a World Cup final. That's fantastic.
It's fine.
But I would always go across the course of a year.
Oh, God. Southgate went for Modric, Varane again, and Eden Hazard. Good shout there. And from the England point of view, Richard Conway went Modric, Kylian Mbappe and Cristiano Ronaldo. And I'm trying to see who there. Oh, Harry Kane. Hurricane. Went for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Did he?
Liverpool.
I'd have gone for his mate, Luka Modric.
And number 3, Kevin De Bruyne, who did feature a fair bit, but not exactly in everybody's shortlist. But there you go, you can find that online via FIFA. So thank you for that. Thank you to Kev tonight as well.
Thank you.
For the football show. It's been a pleasure to have you, and enjoy tomorrow afternoon as well. It's going to be a good one. And don't forget breaking news. Liam Sheedy has been appointed officially as the Tipperary hurling manager. He is back. Earlier we asked you which Irishman hold the winning putt in the 2002 Ryder Cup. It was, of course, Paul McGinley. And congratulations to Joe Gallagher, who's won a €300 Charles Tyrrell voucher. You're going to be looking well, all with thanks to Charles Tyrrell, because life is better, Joe, when you are in a proper shirt. Tomorrow night, we'll bring you news of which players have finished the Liam Miller match in one piece. Not Kilbane. We'll hopefully grab a few of them after for a chat as well. Will O'Callaghan's going to be down there on our behalf too. We'll have League of Ireland superfan Johnny Ward in studio as well on the night that Dundalk could/will wrap up the league title. Tom Dunn is in for Tom Dunn on the way next. Till then, good night.